So here's the thing. I love it when the hometown's in the news, babe. We did it. We did it again. When Pennsylvania's in the news, you know it's going to be a good day. And like, sometimes the news is good. Sometimes people are in jail. Sometimes people are doing weird shit. Sometimes it's just news about like when we're going to get a Dave's Hot Chicken and eventually a Raising Cane's, or the old hotel was on the Carlisle Pike. Sometimes the news is that, we're going to get a new axe throwing place over in the Camp Hill Mechanicsburg area. So that's coming soon. Like, the news isn't always all bad. But sometimes the news comes and it gets a little weird. And, these are the reasons why there are some fast food establishments that we try to avoid. And there's some we go to on a daily, by daily, weekly, monthly, all the time basis. You know what I mean? And some of those fast food, like Arby's, I don't mess with Arby's anymore. I know you can go back to later episodes of this podcast and be like, Levi, you were out here preaching Arby's. You said you liked Arby's. Well, guess what? That was episode like 37, okay? I barely knew who was the host of this podcast, let alone what we were talking about back then. Don't worry about it. We're here now. Once Arby's gave us that monstrosity of a cheeseburger, you know what I mean? It just wasn't, it stopped for me right then and there. Here's the bottom line of the story is Arby's doesn't have grills, nor did they buy them, nor did they put those cheeseburgers anywhere near a grill, and then they proceeded to hand it to you. So that I didn't really like. And then they started putting cheese on everything, and the fish sandwiches freak me out. And I don't know. It's just a place we haven't been to in a while. Another place that unfortunately I don't frequent enough, just because there's other options in that category that I prefer better, is Chipotle. Okay. And they're always trying to charge you extra. You want a little bit more meat. You want any guac at all? Extra. You want a little something extra for that? It's extra. You want to spend a little bit of money on the chips for your bowl or whatever? Extra. So it's just everything's always extra at Chipotle. And I don't like the surprises. I like knowing that my bowl's going to be $4.99 and that's how much it is. But then when you get to the end, it's like, well, you wanted this and you wanted that and you added this. But I thought it was like Subway. You know what I mean? Every time I get extra shit at Subway, they don't tack on an extra $1 to the price. Well, maybe they do now. I haven't been to Subway in 6 months either. So Chipotle has always been one of those interesting places. It comes and goes in waves. You know what I mean? It was popular when Dobrik was popping on YouTube because of him and his collabs. Then it kind of went away. Then it kind of came back. Now it is what it is again. But, when it comes to the citizens and the customers of Camp Hill and central Pennsylvania where I live, we go above and beyond when it comes to our extras, okay? You want a little extra meat with a little extra sour cream on your Chipotle bowl? The manager and staff at the Chipotle right here in our hometown of Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, has got your back. Now, I haven't read the article yet, but I got linked to it. Paul sent me the Reddit post as I was skimming there just to see what maybe it was all about. I heard we're getting national attention. We're getting national attention now at this Camp Hill Chipotle location. I'm going to have to go. There's probably going to be a line wrapped around the damn building. But we're getting national attention because of their new way of adding extra meat and sour cream to the meals that you get. So Camp Hill, we got the article up here, right? This is the article. Yeah. Okay, Cumberland County Chipotle manager charged for alleged lewd acts inside the restaurant. Lewd, what is that? Okay. A manager at the Chipotle restaurant in Camp Hill, Cumberland County, has been charged after allegedly exposing himself to restaurant goers. Oh, shit. According to the Campbell Police Department, they took a report back on Monday, March 4th around 5:30 p.m. So, like, a decent hour. It wasn't like 10 o'clock at night. He had time to be drunk. This is at a decent hour, 5:30, regarding a non-active incident, or I'm sorry, a non-active indecent exposure incident at the Trindle Road Chipotle. We're just slinging meat at Chipotle, aren't we? That freshly grilled, that fresh meat at Chipotle. You can't get any fresher. During the course of the investigation, police say they discovered that on Friday, March 1st, around 8:05 p.m. Oh, okay, it was a little later. That's weird. A male manager at Chipotle, allegedly exposed himself and proceeded to masturbate while sitting in a booth in view of guests. Now, listen, I don't know what the employee discounts entail at Chipotle, okay? I knew when I worked at Subway, every shift we worked, we could get like a free 6-inch, you know what I mean? They didn't care if we got drinks, and if you wanted chips, the employee discount, it was like $1. So, you could eat free as an employee there. But I'm assuming the extras, like my boss wasn't having it. If I got my free 6-inch and then wanted to take another 6-inch home, I had to pay for it. At least with the employee discount, whatever. There was extras. You still have to pay for your food. Not everything's free. So what I'm assuming happened here was he got his free employee meal, okay? But he wanted a little extra meat and he couldn't afford it. So he started slanging that shit all over the floor of the restaurant. Police say that once Chipotle learned that this manager was under investigation, they suspended the employee with the intent of dismissing him. Campbell police say the 26-year-old male was charged with indecent assault, 1 count, indecent exposure, 2 counts of that, open lewdness, 2 counts of that, disorderly conduct, 2 counts of that, and harassment, 2 counts of that as well. Call it a twofer at the end of the day. Campbell police did not release the man's name. However, ABC 27 will reach out to local court. They'll get his name eventually. I get it. Jobs are stressful, especially as a manager, okay? If you're a manager with multiple employees, okay? I've only got I got a few business partners, and I have hardly any. I really don't have any employees, so I can't really relate. But what I do relate to is running and operating businesses, being in charge, customers, clients, problems, fires, scheduling, people not showing up. It's just, I understand the pressure. And trust me, that scene in Wolf of Wall Street is 1000% your reality as a high-level manager, supervisor, business owner, operator. You gotta be jerking one out once to twice to 3 times a day. And if you don't, you'll implode internally. And so what most likely happened to this 26-year-old manager at Chipotle, he didn't have time and he didn't have a chance to privately work one out during his day. And so it built up. And that tension rises and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And then as there's enough pressure in the tank, you'll just implode. Okay. And once that happens, everything starts to go black. You forget where you are. You think, oh, I'm in my room and I'm in space and I'm okay. And then you just start doing your business in the middle of the booth at the Chipotle that you're currently working at. So I understand how we got here mentally. And I honestly think the judge in this case needs to take that into consideration. And if, as a judge, she or he they probably understand that pressure. It builds up, you start to black out, and next thing you know, you're doing something in public that you're not supposed to be. And that's just where we're at as a society. The pressure on business owners and people in charge. We've got to deal with people coming in and throwing food at us. They got to deal with assholes complaining about the bill. We got to deal with people going in there taking handfuls of forks and stealing the hot sauce bottles and the napkins and trying to get the guac for free. I can only imagine the stress of a Chipotle manager. And I mean, let's be honest, he's probably not making a lot of money. Chipotle man, let's look that up. Chipotle manager salary. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. General manager. General manager, you're looking at a total of $15 an hour. $15 an hour. And it's Chipotle. So you know for a fact they're not approving any overtime. And so so they're probably doing 40 hours a week. What's 40 hours a week times 15 times 52? You're looking at $30,000 a year. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? That should be plenty for anyone to live, to have fun, luxury, to relieve their stress at any time. I mean, that's, it's almost $20,000. And if you can't make $20,000 stretch for the period of 12 to 18 months, and I mean, that's before taxes. So, I mean, after taxes, yeah, you're looking at about 20. You're looking at about 20 grand a year. What's the problem? Why are you stressed out? They're paying you for your work to the point where you've got to jerk one off in booth 19. You knew it was a good booth. You knew there were people sitting over there. And so this is what we can expect. This is what we deal with here in central Pennsylvania. You thought Florida was bad? You thought Florida was the state with all the weirdo psycho people doing crazy stuff? I'm pretty sure the guy from Pennsylvania who was selling like human body parts and like animal bodies and like skulls and bones and jars and shit on Facebook Marketplace just got convicted. I'm pretty sure that court case kind of like fell through or whatever. So, it's fun. It's fun times at Chipotle.